This is a video that, well, I think that I may have sounded grim. Grim to the extent that in my last video about the Lima, I picked out a quote that I read from Crowley that was quite, all that I can do is just shrug at why I picked out that specific quote instead of any of the other interesting shit that I read from him. And, well, this is just kind of an update about some of the practices that I've been doing and some of my magic that maybe otherwise I just keep to myself. And well, first there's a quote behind me here on my board from a guy who I affectionately consider who I affectionately refer to as Rubber Boots, but it's actually Meher Baba. And for me, my meditation and yogic practice and Thelema and Be Here Now, Be Here Now was kind of this, you might say, finally, like, I got to something that I could, some evidence to some of the things that I consider to be truth, you might say. There's no higher other religion than truth. And I think it's kind of a misuse of language when people say, for example, you keep doing things over and over until you get it right. What I think they actually mean is, well, when you say right, what does right mean? I think that if you are to visualize a series of concentric circles, and to me, someone who's pretty thick-headed and you might call stubborn, I need a lightning bolt experience, and that's my story, is a lightning bolt experience. So you're visualizing a series of concentric circles, and in the middle is spirit, and spirit is what is eternally true. It doesn't need to be argued for. No one's arguing against it. And as you get further out, that's when people trip. They have misunderstandings, misguided notions of and about. And then I think furthest out is the word God. G-D, big G-O-D, God's dog. And the reason for that is that each nationality, it almost seems like, has a different god or pantheon of gods. So I think the original point of this video was to just really update people on what kind of magic I'm doing. And the quote that I took, the little piece from Thelema, was that it might come to a point where your magic is no longer... Your magic is like a man on a battlefield who is wielding a boomerang when everyone else is carrying a rifle. And I felt bad about saying that because there was so much other interesting shit that I could have cited from Crowley when I use that as an example. Some of the stuff that I've been reading from him. And, I've heard it, just to move forward. There's plenty of different ways to meditate, but I just got finished meditating, and it was a bit uncomfortable. My feet hurt from sitting on them. I can only get into a half lotus. I have gotten into a full lotus, but I was only able to hold it momentarily. But something that I do when I finish meditating is I take a few steps from where I was sitting, and just to, for myself, to you, what I do is I turn around and bow to where I was just seated. Because when I'm in union or yoga, I hold a piece of divinity within me, and when I finished, I turn around and I honor that place where a divinity was just placed, where I was seated. And I've been loose lately. It feels really good. Everything I do, I'm just very loose, and it's almost like they say you're in the pocket, you're in a flow state. For rappers, transparency, and that's the goal. You want to take and integrate every one of your experiences, and 9393